At some point, you're going to have to break the curse. In order to live by God's system and live by faith, you're going to have to break the curse. A lot of people ask, is living for God easy? Yeah, it's pretty easy. Is living by faith easy? Yeah, that's pretty easy. Is walking in God's system easy? Yeah, it's super easy. You know what the hard part is? The hard part is breaking the curse. That's the hard part. You got to break the curse of all the wrong that you were taught. Because we were all taught wrong. You got to break that curse and get in God's system. You got to break the curse of everything you heard growing up. You got to overcome what you heard mama and daddy say and run with the truth. You got to forget what grandmama said and live by what God said. That's the hard part. Because after you've been trained a certain way for so many years, it's almost impossible to go against that and do something totally different. It's almost impossible to kick against what's been put in you for 20, 30, 40 years and live by something that you never heard in your life. You got to break that curse. Scripture says, examine yourself and see if you're in the faith. That's how tricky this thing really is. It's so tricky till you have to examine yourself to see whether or not you're living by faith. It didn't say examine yourself to see if you're in the church, because we can all see that you're in the church. It didn't say examine yourself to see if you're going through all the motions, because we can all see that you're good at going through the motions. It didn't say examine yourself and see if you're good enough for man, because if you're doing the church thing and you're going through all the motions, it's good enough for man. It says examine yourself and see if you're in the faith. Faith says you reap what you sow. Ain't nothing hard about that, because most of us reap what we sow without even knowing it. Faith says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Ain't nothing hard about that. Whatever you think, whatever you meditate on, that's what you get. What's hard about that? Faith says you will have whatsoever you say. What's hard about that? Nothing hard about that. But if you think you're going to break the curse and waltz your way on into God's system and it's that easy, you got another thing coming. This is when you come into the fight. This is when the fight starts. This is when you actually see what the devil is all about. Because for years, we have heard people saying, oh, the devil really been after me. I'm going through in my body. Well, everybody goes through in their body. That ain't necessarily fighting the devil. Well, the devil really been after me, y'all. Pray for me because I'm going through in my mind. A lot of people go through in their mind. That ain't necessarily the devil. Well, yeah, I've been fighting the enemy because I got 2 bills that's behind and they talking about cutting my stuff off. Well, guess what? You ain't necessarily fighting the devil. You probably done something stupid with your money and caused those problems to come on yourself. You want to fight the devil? You want to see the devil upset and coming at you? Break that curse and come on into the truth. Break the curse and come on live by God's system. That's when you see the devil. That's when you meet demons. That's when you see what the devil is capable of doing in your life. You gotta break the curse. Religion, that's a curse. Man's righteousness, that's a curse. The only way to live by God's system is to break that curse. That's the reason you see generation after generation falling to the same thing. They're not breaking the curse. That's the reason Daddy was a drunk, and now you're a drunk. You haven't broken the curse. Mama got caught up with no good men. And what did you do? You got caught up with no good men because you haven't broken the curse. You look back in the whole family tree. Everybody was religious. Everybody thought they were righteous, and none of them lived by faith. And now what are you doing? You're religious. You think you're righteous, and you're not doing anything by faith because you have not broken that curse. Some folks say, well, I never actually met my real daddy. Well, if you ever meet your real daddy, you know what you're going to find out? You look just like him, you act just like him, you talk just like him, and you're caught up on the same things that he was caught up on because you haven't broken that curse. But that's the only way to live the life that God designed. That's the only way to truly live according to God's system. That's the only way to be a true faith walker. You gotta break that curse.